Okay, so let's just I'll just show you here an example. So, let's say, look at this part again and say this is a part that we wanted to split. And this is just kind of brainstorming with software tools on what you could do. But, I could copy this part on this sheet here. And if I go into my part edit mode, I can delete the outer profile of this part. And, these three inner holes on this side. That etching either. So now it just has these three holes, and then the left side of the part assigned, it does have the part number on there now after reloading the parameters.
Yeah.
But in my laser assign, I have a partial assignment, which it'll snap to the center of the part. And then I move the cut around until it gets to the center of this line. So that assigned there. And then we can do a direct assignment from point to point. This was supposed to be on E4. So now that'll cut out as a part. Now I go back to sheet edit and say, no, I don't want to apply the changes to other instances of the part. And then I go into this part and delete the outer assignment. And now this time delete the left side geometry. And then go into my laser assign partial. This is supposed to be on E4. Grab the center of this line. Going. Oh, there we go. Clicking something right there, and then it'll snap to the middle. Then use our direct assignment to go from point to point. So that'll snap to that point there. Make sure that's, there we go. No. And then this here, I can basically drag that over. And though the green is non-process geometry. So that green it doesn't affect, that's just a visual representation. But now what I've done is essentially split the part into different cut paths without actually changing any geometry, which I think has some value to it, because now we don't have random CAD files floating around that are half apart. All of our CAD files are correct for what the part needs to be manufactured to. But what we've done here is we've enabled two different cut paths that's going to split the part so that now we can, weld it together or whatever it is that you want to do. So just wanted to demonstrate this as at least an option for you for another method of splitting larger geometry, if you were looking for other options. So.
Now I remember last time that we were talking to you, there was another editor that you had. Usually when you imported like a DWG or a DXF, and you are deleting out other views, you're extracting that 2D information and whatnot. Is there a way to kind of take that particular profile that you have here and edit it at that step and then add that back into the nesting source there? Would that be another way to do it perhaps, or?
So yeah, in here, so this is the production designer,
Sure.
where we started at. And I can select this component and go to my ortho drawing. And that's going to take this 3D. And let's just choose one of these views. Not that one. Go back to ortho, maybe top. Yeah, get the right. It must be
Looks like you could
front.
select multiple.
Yep, that's creating multiple there now. And that's not unfolded yet. We'd have to unfold it first, but you can bring it into the 2D CAD editor.
Yeah.
So it'll go from the 3D and then go into here, and then we could do some sketching in here again with drawing the lines.
Yeah.
It's still just in here just isn't my favorite place to work, just because like in SolidWorks, I can just draw a line somewhere and then I can choose to dimension it after I place that line. And here you have to kind of set your dimensions prior to. So like if I want to split this, see it's going, you see the red dot, it's going to acceptable snap points.
Yeah.
And so if I want to be somewhere other than one of those snap points, I need to set an offset from that location before I click. And I just don't find that to be super helpful. So if I can't just go straight vertical here. I would have to go up to be vertical and then use a trim tool to trim that line off. And then that trims it. And then I can, when I go to delete these, that'll delete off eventually here.
So hypothetically,
So
now with that, would you be able to import that into your nest and then do that same for the opposite side there too, kind of like two separate bodies?
yeah, so yep, this could come into the nest in here. So you can utilize this tool. You can either bring a fresh, a DXF out of SolidWorks in, or you
Yep.
can work with the models like I'm doing here and bring them in and edit them. And then we can actually save this into the database. So it'll so it'll have this 2D file, or we can export this as a DXF and load the DXF in. So either way, you can technically stay within Production Designer and do levels of manipulation to the actual CAD and then save those out and use them how you want. Or we can do like we did here, where rather than adjusting the CAD, we just control the tool assignment of the laser beam, laser cut path, and then basically accomplish what we're trying to do. So those would be the two ways that I can think of staying directly within Production Designer and the 4IE software to basically split geometry without going into any more advanced CAD system.